Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today it's gonna be a little mini video. I'm just gonna be giving you guys my November TBR. It's not gonna be a big talker vlog or talker video, but I'm gonna be giving my November TBR and most of what I'm gonna try to get through for December, which December is probably gonna be my biggest TBR from this year, probably at all, just because I have such a long break for Christmas as well as in the beginning of January. I just have such a long break from school, so besides work there's nothing else that I will really be doing probably during break besides reading and watching movies. So I'm gonna try to get through a lot of my books before, like, by 2025, so then by 2025 I can just get a whole new shelf, because I also need to just redo this shelf at some point. I'm not doing that today though because I just don't have the energy. We're just not doing it. No. Alrighty. So we're gonna get into my November TBR. This is all the books that I read in November, and we're gonna start out with my physical TBR because I also did read a lot on my Kindle, so I do not have those books in my physical TBR. Alright, so first we're gonna start it off with The Ash Princess by Laura Sebastian. I will not lie, I didn't actually technically read this as a physical book. I listened to the audiobook, because this book, I've had this book for probably over 5 years, and not 5 years probably, but I just never read it. I've had it for a very, very long time, and it's been sitting on my shelves, and I decided to finally crack it open and open up the Ash Princess series. And I actually am surprised that I haven't read it yet. It was a really enjoyable series. I do love anything fantasy, and I think like the double love interest thing also is very interesting to see in this as well, but also the differences compared to the different love triangles and love interests that I've seen in more recent romances, because this, I'm pretty sure, is just a few years older than, I don't know, I really don't remember when this came out, but yeah, I think, did I say 2018? Yeah, 2018. It is now 2024. I've had this book a while. So I'm glad that I finally read it. I do think it's a really good, like, story. I really like the plot points. It's something different, because usually we don't see, or at least I haven't seen a fantasy yet that is using almost a usurper. Not that she's a usurper, but using a usurper and like somebody who's trying to take back their throne that is rightfully theirs, and I think that's interesting to see. And I really, really enjoyed it. Next, what I have read is, there's a whole vlog about this, so I'm not gonna get too much into it, but I read the entire Twilight series this month. Gotta love it. Read the entire Twilight series. Oh, in the month of November. It was actually not as daunting a task as I thought it was gonna be, but I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed them so much more than the movies. Everybody says that, and it is so, so true. Ugh. Love it. I just love it so much. Also, it is December 1st today. I forgot to say that. Hopefully this will be posted by today or December 2nd. But I also have another vlog in the midst, so I'm hoping to post this after that. But I don't have that edited or have the rest of the clips for it, but that's like me decorating my room for Christmas. As you can see, there's a Christmas tree behind me. And yeah, and another thing I loved about this was that my dad gave me like his original copies that he got. This copy is so old it even has the sticker that says soon to be a major motion picture. So that's like an OG copy right there, and I'm in love. I'm in love. Last but not least, on our physical TBR, this is, I did record myself and give a little review on my TikTok, so you guys should go check that out if you haven't seen it, and go follow me on TikTok. And that is The Tales of the Beetle and the Bard by J.K. Rowling. It's a Harry Potter Hogwarts library book. I want to get the rest of them because there's Fantastic Beasts, and then there's also a Quidditch one where it kind of explains like the history of Quidditch. But this was like the Harry Potter fairy tales. This includes a lot of the main fairy tales that they would have enjoyed in the wizarding world, and it also had the brothers, I want to say the Brothers Grimm, but that's not what it's called. That's ours. That's a Muggle thing, and I just can't. The Tale of the Three Brothers. There we go. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Slow. But yeah, this was definitely 5-star. I recommend this for sure. It was only like 110 pages. I think I read it in like an hour. So it really wasn't that bad, and it was a really good read. It also has like excerpts, like Dumbledore gave notes on this as well. So I think that was really interesting to see how he connected certain things. And yeah, so that's it for my physical TBR, at least. That is what I read physically for the month of November. And I'm gonna need to refresh my memory really fast because I'm not gonna lie, I do not remember some of the books that I read on my Kindle. So also during the month of November, I finished out the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series with his new releases, and I think one of them was released this year, and that would be books 6 and 7 of the series, which is The Chalice of Gods and The Wrath of the Triple Goddess. Those were so good. I loved actually finally seeing Percy as a teenager, because they're finally teenagers in this book, and he's like finally a senior in high school, and he's preparing and he's getting ready for college. I just love them, and I'm so glad that the series didn't end. And I first started reading the series. I'm not gonna talk too much about it because I also have a vlog about this, but so go watch that if you have not. I'll probably link both of those, my Twilight and my Percy Jackson series, in the description. But I read those kind of back to back basically, but I was so glad that I started and I first read the Percy Jackson and Olympian series when he did release 2 new books, because I would have been so mad if I could have only read 1 through 6 or 1 through 5, and then I wouldn't have had the other 2 to satisfy my Percy Jackson needs. I still need more. I need to read the Heroes of Olympus series this month, probably. That's probably also going to be on my TBR. Let's be honest here. I really want to read the Heroes of Olympus series so bad. Ugh. Because I need more Percy and more Annabeth and more just everything. I need more, and I want more of Nico. Like, we only got some stuff of Nico, but I want more of Nico, and I think he's more in the Gods of Olympus series. So I think we need to get into that. The next book I read is Lights Out by Navessa Allen. This was actually one of my book club books on my book club app. So I read it with a book club. Stalker, Mask, romances are now my favorite. I love always to just slow my mind down with a good like romance that's just raunchy and just love and just that helps. It helps me not go to sleep, but it helps me like decompress for the days when I get to finally shut down and read a good romance. That one, that's probably one of the first romances that I actually want to reread, because it was so good. The Mask, everything. Everything. It was so, I just loved that book so much. 6 stars. 6 out of 5 stars. You guys need to go read that right now. Right now. I did have 2 more book club books on my book club app that I did read with my online book clubs this month. One of those was What We Wish For by Melody Masonette. This was such a good just fiction that I love to read. It was also good just to read it in the month of November, because they did have some Thanksgiving / like Christmassy type scenes, and I felt like that it just kind of gave to it. It was such, I don't know, it was a really interesting story to read and interesting perspective to read from. It was about a girl whose mother, she lives with her mother, but they are homeless, and her mother ends up getting really sick, I'll say, so I don't spoil it. And then this girl has to then go stay with her aunt and uncle and her cousin, and her uncle is running for mayor or senator or something like that. Oh, we also have a little baby joining us. She's running for mayor or something like that, and we kind of see her story and how she navigates dealing with love interest, dealing with her family, dealing with her mom, dealing with all these emotions inside of her head. And it was a really good read, and I think it was a very emotional read. It was something that I couldn't connect with personally, but that I also still felt, I could still feel like a deep connection to her character as a person. And it was just something that I really, really enjoyed reading, and I also suggest that everybody go read that right now. Another book club book that I read was Boys Enter the House, and this is a nonfiction book that is about the victims of the John Wayne Gacy case. And that was another emotional read. I also really enjoyed that, just because whenever you do hear about the John Wayne Gacy case, you don't hear a lot about the boys' pasts and who they truly were as people. You don't get to hear from the family members, and that's what that book did for us. It really just made you see that these were people. They weren't just prostitutes, they weren't just whatever. Because yeah, a lot of the men that were found in the John Wayne Gacy case to be victims did happen to be male prostitutes at some point. But it also showed their lives. They had lives. They had people in them. They had people who loved them and cared about them. They had people who they loved and cared about. And it just really showed that, and I think that was really special to be able to read that and read from their stories and not just hear about John Wayne Gacy the whole time, because he is not the victim here. So I also, if you love a good nonfiction and you love true crime and stuff like that, I really recommend reading that book, because that was a really, really interesting read for this month, to definitely get into that and kind of crack open the John Wayne Gacy case a little bit more as well, just because it just talks about his victims, and I thought that was really interesting to read. Last but not least, this was just a little audiobook that I was listening to during work. I didn't really know anything about it, but it's We Used to Live Here by Daniel Hurst, and I actually, once I started listening to it, I was like, this is really something. That's really good. It's like a mystery thriller almost, where a man and wife with their child move into a new house, and they're like renovating it, and they're taking out walls, and they see this message written on a wall, and they assume it's from a little boy, and they assume it's because this couple also comes and visits them and tells them that it's their house, that used to be their house, and they would just want to come visit it, and the dad thinks it's a little strange, but the mom's like, okay. And then eventually they keep talking about this message, and she theorizes that the little boy was killed by the couple, and it's just kind of going along that journey, and it's also showing the journey of the father also having an affair, and where those two stories kind of connect and meet, which I won't give too much, but it was a very big, not plot twisting, because I already knew one of the things, but one of the things that happened at the end, I was like, whoa. That, they did not have to include that. I feel like they could have left that away. But it was a very interesting read. It was a very good thriller. I think the writing was very good, and I think the plot was very good. I think they could have added more to the plot. I think it did get a little boring at some points, and I think the male was he just wasn't written well for me personally. And I also didn't like his actor's voice. Maybe that's what it was. But yeah. So that concludes everything that I've read in the month of November. I'm also, except for the book I'm currently reading 1,000 Broken Pieces, which is the second book to 1,000 Boy Kisses. I'm currently reading that right now, and I also started 6 of Crows, which was supposed to be in my November TBR. So I read everything on my TBR but 6 of Crows. So I'm also trying to finish that by tonight or tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. And now we'll try to jump into my December TBR. So a lot of people, for their TBRs, they like to do challenges and stuff, and I was thinking about doing that for the month of December, but there's just too much time on my hands to let a little game or something pick it. So I was just gonna go ahead and pick most of my books, but then I'll probably do a challenge at the end of December to pick out my January TBR, and then we'll just have a random January TBR, but because I kind of already know what I want to get through in the month of December. So let's get into that. You guys don't know this, but I'm back. I just went out to eat for my dad and my brother's birthday, and I have my huge stack. Can't see it. This is the top though. The rest of it's down here. But I have my huge stack of physical TBR books. I still have more on my TBR list. That's on my Kindle. Oh my gosh, I will be getting to here shortly. But yeah, this is the bad girl we're working with. Not the cat, though. We love him, though. But this is what we're working with, and I think we're doing great. He wants to be a part, though. I'm Moray. Named him after love, because he's so lovey-dovey. Okay, let's finally get into this. I don't think I'm going to tell descriptions of the books, since I do have so many. And I was going to count them, but I'm probably going to count them after now. So I'm just going to say the name and the author, and that's how we're going to do it. Dashing Through the Snow by Debbie Macomber. Odin's Child by Siri Peterson. This is a thick one. The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. Are You Listening by Tilly Walden. This is a graphic novel. I think I could probably read this tonight. I was going to start it really soon. I'm very excited. Lightlark by Alex Astor. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. This is also another one that I will be getting into really soon. Dragonfall by L.R. Lamb. This looks really good. And the rest of these books are going to be it's going to be a video that I'm going to try to continue series that I've started. And next we have A Touch of Malice by Scarlett St. Clair. Daydream by Hannah Grace. A Tale of Broken Hearts, and then the third, and then this one, A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. It's gonna be both of these, so it's the second one, the Curse, Broken Heart, something. Oh, it's one Broken Heart, Curse, something, and then this one, Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, as well as her other new one that she just came out with that I cannot remember the name of. The Teller of Secrets by Bissy Adjapon. I don't want to say that name wrong, and I'm absolutely sure that I did. Bunny by Mona Awad. How to Be Famous by Caitlin Moran. Oh, and last but not least for our physical TBR, Groupies by Sarah Priscus. Yeah. A lot of these aren't necessarily winter themed. I tried to keep it to that like dark wintry theme, but I don't have a lot of those books on my physical TBR if I'm being completely honest. So that is where my Kindle TBR or my virtual TBR will come in to play with that. So let's get into these. Have a ton. This is where I will be getting into all of the reads. Okay. So we're going to start out with little mini-series that a bunch of recent romance authors came out with this year for specifically Kindle Unlimited readers. And that is A Cruel Winter with You by Allie Hazelwood. Ever After by Tessa Bailey. All by My Elf by Olivia Dade. Merriment and Mayhem by Alexandria Bellafleur. Bellafleur. I think that's how you say it. And Only Santa's in the Building by Alexis Daria. Those are I think most of them are 70 to 80 pages long. They're not really that long, and I think I might also do a little reading all of those. I might use that for TikTok though, because I do already have a planned reading series for the month of December. Okay, and next up, we're going to get a little bit of out of specific Christmas books right now, and we're going to go with When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I'm going to try to get that done this month. I have not read that yet. I'm very, very disappointed in myself. I'm also going to try to read Six of Crows this month, even though that was last month, so we're also going with that. The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent, which is the next in another series. I'm probably going to include that in the series. Per Jacobson, or 25 Days by Per Jacobson. This is supposed to be a horror kind of Christmas novel, and it looks really, really interesting, and I'm very excited. And we have more Christmas ones, and that is Holiday Hideaway, which is another kind of short story by Mary Kay Andrew. And obviously, we have How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. That's a very big one this year. I'm so excited to read that, because it reminds me, because it's like Grinch aura, and that Grinch is my favorite ever of all time Christmas movie. And then we have My Favorite Holiday by Lauren Blakely. And I think that's basically all that I fully have on my TBR right now. But that doesn't mean that couldn't change, because I usually do, even though I have a set TBR that I want to read that month, just those books, I usually read more than that. But then I never fully get to my actual TBR. So we're going to try to stick to the TBR this month, but also if I find more Kindle reads, I'll probably read those, because I've seen a lot of good Kindle Unlimited romance, or Christmas books. I'm very excited. So I think I'm going to try to count all of my TBR books for the month of December. And we're going to try to see how many I have, because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, guys. It's a lot. $28 books on my TBR for the month of December. I don't know why I did this to myself. There's a chance that I may be able to get through all of these, but I don't know how big that chance is, if I'm being completely honest, now that I'm really, really looking at the pile that I've gotten myself into. But I think we're gonna do it. So that's been my November TBR. That's what I read in my November reading wrap up, and my very big and boisterous TBR for the month of December. I know I have a long Christmas break, but finals are the next 2 weeks is finals. That's when we start doing final stuff. So I don't know in the next 2 weeks if I'll even have time, and that'll screw me up. So So we're gonna try, but who knows. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and continue watching me. I want to do more than just reading stuff. I've been trying to plan that stuff, but I'm not very good at it. I've been trying to go to New York for New Year's, and then I want to do some more gaming videos, and I want to get some more Legos to build. But yeah, but I'll see you guys in the next video.